Okay, so I've been doing a lot of work recently with system platform SCADA, and I'm kind of noticing something that I really don't like. You're rarely seeing the terminology sensor, PLC, field device, or anything like that in the industry anymore. It's almost like certain SCADA systems are removing themselves from their original purpose, and they're becoming more of data acquisition or plant management software or whatever you want to call it. But for those of us that still work with the older school style, I guess, I figured I'd make a video mapping out what this stuff's actually doing in simpler terms. So I like to work from left to right. So you can start from SCADA, which is the furthest endpoint to the right, and work your way back to field devices or sensors, or you could go the other way around. So I'll go from left to right. So all your signals start with either discrete switches in some device, like an actuator or a motor starter, some type of switch that falls under the binary or discrete input signal, which wires to a terminal block to your PLC. Or you could have analog sensor, which would be temperature, pressure. I put flow twice because I'm a dummy, but any analog signal. And this could be 4 to 20 volt or 4 to 20 milliamps, 0 to 10 volts. Um, there's a handful of different signals, but the most common that I work with is 4 to 20 milliamps because it's easy to work with and it's very reliable. So both of these analog and discrete signals come into a panel somewhere, usually called a RTU. That panel just serves as termination points to a PLC, and that PLC will usually be in that panel. The PLC will harvest all of these discrete and analog signals. On this particular PLC, this L16, the discrete would be on the left, and actually the analog would be an add-on card to this module, but it's kind of the same. So after that, your PLC basically turns these raw signals via embedded circuits and integrated circuits into computer code or object oriented code that's spit out over Ethernet, but usually it's using proprietary encapsulation or layering or something on the Ethernet to give it the manufacturer specific Ethernet protocol that hits a network switch, goes out on a plant wide network, and those are eventually hooked to SCADA servers. They could be server grade computers or they could be desktop computers like you find a lot in smaller water and wastewater plants. So I have a similar diagram up here. So you've got your different types of switches, limit switches, level switches. You could have pressure switches. Then you have your analog devices, which would be 2-wire and 4-wire milliamp signals for pressure, temperature, flow, valve position, you name it, that fall under analog. Those are physically wired. Nobody wants to touch this stuff anymore. Nobody really understands it anymore, it seems like. Uh, that's physically wired to the PLCs in the US, often Allen Bradley, sometimes Schneider Electric, which used to be Modicon and Telemecanique. They've acquired a bunch of companies. Or Siemens, haven't worked with them very much. And there's like 100 other types of PLCs. Those wire over Ethernet or serial, but most of the time Ethernet over a standard network to SCADA computers. And the SCADA computers host a SCADA platform. Could be, these are some of the main ones. There's many. Ignition's seeming to take over the market right now. I haven't worked much with it, but Wonderware and iFix were the two, probably in the 90s and 2000s, the biggest leaders. I believe Wonderware is still the main leader. Wonderware's new object-oriented offering is called System Platform, and it's owned by Aviva. Wonderware InTouch is also owned by Viva. That's the older Wonderware, I guess you could say, tag-based application. It's separate, kind of, from System Platform. This is a whole weird world in and of itself. Then you have VT SCADA, which is a newer one. It's used a lot in my industry, water and wastewater. I quite like working with it. But I just kind of wanted to show what this layout actually looks like and declutter some of this obscure terminology. It's just devices wired to PLCs hooked up over Ethernet to computers. That's pretty much it.